Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Adu here with Adu STEM, and in this video, I'm excited to present to you a new HTML series. Over the next few videos, I'll be breaking down the basics and also the fundamentals of HTML so you guys can create your own website. Whether you're a complete beginner or you're an experienced user of HTML and you just want to brush up your basics, this series is meant for you. So let's get started with an introduction to HTML and what you need to get started. Alright, so let's get started with what HTML is and how we can get started with it. So what is HTML5? HTML5 is the latest version of the hypertext markup language, also known as HTML. HTML is the code that is used to build structures of websites. It is used to create the layout, headings, many other things like images, links, and other elements that can make up the content of our web page. With HTML5, developers can create more interactive and dynamic websites with new elements like videos and audio players, which we can add to our website. And we can use this to validate data on the client side. But to summarize this up, HTML5 can basically create the structure of a web page. Now, what is CSS? CSS is a language style used to style the layout and content of the website. It allows you to control things like font, color, spacing, and layout of your web page, separate from the HTML code that defines the structure of your page. With CSS, you can also create animations and transition effects, which you can apply styles to specific devices on screen sizes. To summarize CSS can basically style your page and make it more appealing to visitors. Now, what is JS? JS, many of you guys may have heard of, like JavaScript. JavaScript is a programming language that is used to create an interactive and dynamic elements of web pages. It allows you to create things like form validation, interactive maps, and games, to name a few examples. It can run on users' browsers, which means you can make a website more responsive and dynamic as well as providing a more engaging user experience. To summarize JavaScript basically creates functionality for a website. So now you must be wondering, why did I talk about CSS and JavaScript when this tutorial is about HTML? Well, understanding what CSS and JavaScript is important because we need to understand the total front-end development of websites. So basically, to summarize how they work together, HTML basically creates the structure of the website, while CSS is able to kind of design it and make it more colorful and more appealing to visitors. Then JavaScript is able to create the functionality for this. So we can think of this as an analogy. If you have a house which has just been created, it just has the wooden planks that creates the structure of the house. No one wants to buy the house because it's appealing. It's not appealing at all. There's no furniture in it. It's basically really unappealing house. So what we do is we're going to add CSS to it. CSS and basically it's just like adding furniture, adding color to our walls, and adding a floor, a nice appealing floor. So now we have an appealing house, but it has no functionality. It doesn't have a lighting system. It doesn't have a heating system. It doesn't have a water system throughout the house. So HTML basically creates the structure for the house. CSS creates the colorfulness and the appealingness for its customers. And then JavaScript creates the functionality for it, like the water system and stuff like that. So together, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript work together to create the front end of a website. And this is what the user interacts with. The user of the website interacts with the front end. So let's get started with programming with HTML. In order to start programming with HTML, we're going to need a text editor. For the series, I'll be using something called Virtual Studio Code, but you can feel free to find your own text editor. But I feel that Virtual Studio Code is the best and it's the most friendly for beginners. So let's get started with installing this. What you're going to first do is we're going to open a new tab and we're going to search up Visual Studio Code. And what's going to pop up is Visual Studio Code, and what you want to do is you want to download the Mac Universal or whatever device you're on. So for me, I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to be downloading the Mac Universal. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually be opening Visual Studio Code, and we're going to download something called a live server. So when you have this, you can open it up. I already have Visual Studio Code installed. So what I'm going to do is you're going to be here in your front page. You're going to go all the way down to extensions right here. Once you go to extensions, you're going to see something with the search bar. And what you're going to do is you're going to search up live server. Now, I already have live server installed, but you'll see it when it first pops up. And not sure what happened there. I'll reopen the Visual Studio Code, and you want to go all the way back to extensions like I was doing previously. So like here, and you're going to search up live server. And what we're going to do is we're going to install this. Right now I already have it installed, but I can just press uninstall. And this is what you guys should be seeing. So you're going to need to do, you're going to install it. So once you install it, you'll be able to come over here, and this basically sets up your whole entire Visual Studio Code environment, and this is all you need for today's tutorial. So I'll see you in the next videos where we're going to be actually breaking down the basics and fundamentals of HTML and how we can actually be using it to create the structure of our web page. Thanks for watching, guys.